Morning, Kal Kadosh. We're continuing with the halachot of Siman Resh Tzadik Tet, which has to do with Seudat Shelishit, and in the nighttime. Here it's brought down that mei soda, which is basically soda water or club soda, is going to be the same halacha as water, and therefore mutar mi karadin to drink it before Avdalah Motzei Shabbat. But any other type of a drinks which has any types of sugars in it, so therefore it's going to be like yain or shechar, which you're not allowed to drink. It's going to be like wine or beer, which you're not allowed to drink before Havdalah. In order the more so, you're not allowed to come and drink any types of fruit juices, right, or milk before Havdalah Motzei Shabbat, and you shouldn't have a tea or a coffee, right, as well. However, though, if a person wants to be lenient until the time of Zman Tzedek Kochavim, according to the Geonim, which is going to be, right, 13 and a half minutes after the Shekiyah, they have what to rely on, whether drinking all these different types of drinks. Now, obviously, we're not talking about that a person is in the middle of the meal. But if a person was in the middle of the meal, he's in the middle of the Seudat Shelishit and he did Hamotzi, so therefore he's allowed to eat and drink everything that he wants way into the nighttime until he's going to do the Birkat HaMazon. Now, what about eating fruits or mezonot during Ben Hashmashot? So it says over here, you're allowed to eat mezonot after Shekiyat HaChama until 13 and a half minutes after the Shekiyah, which is going to be the Tzedek Kochavim of the Shitat of the Geonim. And even if you wanted to eat this mezonot after the Shekiyah until Tzedek Kochavim, you're allowed to come and you're allowed to do so. And if you're going to do this even on fruits, you have what to rely on, which means that what happens if a person didn't realize, and they said mincha, and they started talking, and after a little while they realized, oh, 1 second, it's already Shekiyah. Now they're not going to have bread, because if they were going to have bread, it's much more lenient, because once they get into the meal, it's going to be okay. But let's say they're not going to have bread, they're only going to have fruits or mezonot. So here it says that they're allowed to be mekel, that they could start eating it during the Ben Hashmashot. Now obviously, lechatechila, a person should start Seudat Shelishit before the Shekiyat HaChama. Nevertheless, if he doesn't start it before Shekiyah, he could do it during Ben Hashmashot, which is during the 13 and a half minutes after Shekiyah, and he should not stop the mitzvah of Seudat Shelishit because of this. And even if he did start after the Shekiyat HaChama, right, he's allowed to eat more than a kabetza of bread, and even though you're not supposed to technically have a full meal already from half an hour before Tzedek Kochavim, which is Kriyat Shema, to do a Seudat Shelishit, we could be mekel, we could be lenient, and that's the minhag, especially because usually you're already in the Bet Knesset, right, or you're going to the Bet Knesset for Aviv Tzibur, and also Seudat Shelishit is a mitzvah overet, and if you're not going to do it, you're going to lose it out. So therefore you're allowed to actually start, right, during Ben Hashmashot, and you're allowed to have even more than a kabetza. And the same thing he comes and he says, you could be mekel, even if you didn't eat a kezait before Shekiyah, and the ikar of the eating happened during Ben Hashmashot or after Tzedek Kochavim, as long as you started beforehand, you're allowed to continue, and there's no problem. These are all the different halachot to do with during Ben Hashmashot. Tomorrow we'll speak about what happens if you didn't start during Ben Hashmashot, and you're only going to start after nighttime. That's much worse, which means if it already passed the 13 and a half minutes, now you're already nighttime. That's much worse than during, right, the twilight time, which is going to be during Ben Hashmashot, that even though, again, lechatechila tried to eat before Shekiyah, before sunset, but if you didn't, you're allowed to start during Ben Hashmashot.